Hello everybody, welcome to the sound test stream. Today we're going to take a look at the DDMF Directional EQ. So this is an EQ with a difference, and excuse me, there are I don't know of any other EQs that do this, what this EQ does. It's a port from the VST. Anyone who knows DDMF, their apps on iOS or the desktop, knows that they're just like top quality. They're like studio grade stuff, you know. It's incredibly good, good quality, and of course this is no exception. But this works in a different way. Now, this is like what happens if you just open it up off the desktop. It's not for like inter-app audio or running in effect slots. It's an AU, so it's an audio unit. It's very difficult to explain. You can set the direction of your EQ, and this is not going to make any sense until I start it up. So I'm going to set it up in I've already set a track up in GarageBand, just a little loop thing with a few instruments, so you can get an idea of how this works. But it's extremely clever and extremely useful. Now, you'll know why I've opened it up on full screen here at first, because when it goes into an AU, this is like decreased in size, so it's easier to see it like this. However, top three sections, you have gain, frequency, EQ, basically parametric EQ. The angle and the output, and this section here where it says peak, you can choose basically the filtering of each EQ. So you have low pass, high pass, band pass 2, notch, peak, low shelf and high shelf. Filtering on each of those EQs. You can mute each frequency or solo each frequency, which is super handy, and you can choose the way it's pointed at the actual frequency you want it to do. So for instance, if you want more, if you've got a guitar track playing and you want it slightly brighter on towards the left, then you would top this EQ up here, increase the gain a little bit, you'll see, but you can see you can point it here with the degrees, and then you can increase this dB control here, this volume control basically works in conjunction with this. This one is you're increasing the actual volume of the EQ'd range there, sort of thing. But again, you'll see what I mean when I get it to start to work it. But it's the thing is, there's no manual, and there's nothing else quite like it, so there's no real reference point to say, oh, it's like this or it's like that. The most important thing to remember is just have a play with it, and you'll get some extremely clever things going on in your mix. So let's get rid of that. That's just the open up. And here is GarageBand, and we're going to open up this here, and we're going to go to plugins and EQ, and we're going to go to edit, and we're going to go to this one, which we could go to any of the slots. We're going to go to audio unit extensions, and we're going to choose, there it is there, directional EQ DDMF, and we're going to switch it off. Now there it is. So you can see that it's quite small now, and I'm going to have to adjust my microphone a little bit so I can get a little bit closer to the screen so I can see it better. Now let's just close that then, and let's just start to play the track. And let's just solo the drums, and let's go to the EQ. Now watch what happens when I start to play with the degree. Now, oh yeah, please put your headphones on. You're not going to get the full effect. Now I've got that EQ running slightly to the centre. But you can hear how good it sounds, right? Let's put a bit of bass end in. Now the kick drum is slightly focused this way, but let's solo that. So you can get super fine control. We can take that frequency out. Nice. I'm going to take the mids down a little bit, and I'm going to leave mid centered and leave it on the, take the frequency down a bit and decrease the range. Very nice. Okay, so now I'm gonna switch off the EQ so you can hear the difference. Cool beans, eh? Let's move on to the bass. Make sure our bass is highlighted. Here we go. And we need to add the EQ. So we go to edit, done, and we'll add audio units. Now this is the beauty of audio units, of course, is the fact that you don't need, you can have as many of these things running as you like in your track. Have I got this going on here? Hang on. Oh, this is a pain in the bum. Hang on. What's occurring here, Doug? What's going on? Right, hang on. Right. It's the easiest way to select. So we've got the bass. Let's see. I kind of solo me bass. What's going on here? That's why. I had the drums one highlighted. Me eyes, it's me eyes. Right. Let's just close that up so we can see a bit more what's going on. So we've got the bass soloed now. Let's play it again. And let's go to the DDMF. Let's widen the range. Let's take it up a little bit there, and this one. And let's boost some top end. Pull it around to about there, sounds nice. Nice. Okay. The guitar sounds a little bit harsh to me, so I'm just going to work on section A where the guitar is. Okay. And what I'm going to do this time is I'm not going to solo it out. I'm going to adjust the guitar frequencies while the other two tracks are playing. So again, we go to plugins in EQ. I know we've got guitar highlighted there, so we can add one and directional EQ. Excuse me, I've still got a cold. I have permanent cold. It's the tablets I have to take. Right, here we go. Let's just play it, and then we'll adjust the EQ on the fly. Sounds a little harsh to me. I'm take some of these mids out. Maybe increase this one a little bit, I think. See the difference? Much better. Now you might have also noticed here that without me having to actually make any panning adjustments to the track, I've widened the whole mix out now, but just by playing with the directional EQ and being able to focus on certain frequencies that you don't like, or you say, well, that's kind of like, but it'd be nice to have that a bit topped over that end or this end. Now this is working with a full track, of course. You can obviously do this with the whole mix, and I'll jump over to Cubasis where I have something set up for that in a sec as well. So this basically, that is how you work your track, your thing. So we've affected three things. I don't need to go through the other stuff, but you can hear that it sounds. Let's go plugins in EQ again. With the ability to control the frequencies, the direction of any of these frequencies in the stereo field, you're going to be able to. You can fix problems that are in a mix, but you can expand stuff that you might think that would be lovely if it was just a little tiny bit wider. But being able to do it with an EQ gives you the ability to make it wider, but also work the frequencies so they sit nicer in the mix. Now, I've only done this for a few minutes, you know, so you spend some time at this thing and you're going to get some phenomenally good results. But I'll go over to something I set up in Cubasis in a sec. Let's have a quick listen again. We'll make sure all our EQs are switched on for the three things that we did EQ, and we'll just have a quick blast through. I think that's really nice. Anyway, so we can go, and of course it'll all be saved for us in GarageBand, so we can close that now. And let's open Cubasis 2. Now, let's just go to the mixer here, and on the master channel, I have a DDMF 6144 and the directional EQ. So we have this one, the new one that I'm looking at, and also we have the, sorry about that, we have the absolute brilliant 6144, which is based on the Neve. The Neve EQ, the hardware Neve EQ. All these plugins, by the way, are also available as VSTs and Mac plugins, I think, as well. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Oh, and also there's some cool free stuff for desktop as well on the website. I'll stick a link in anyways. But we want to be looking at how this sounds without either of these in at the moment. Okay, so it's not too bad. It's a thing that you'll have already heard if you watch my videos. It's like a tribute to Vangelis type thing, but I'll just play a little bit. Hang on a second. I'll bring the volume back in, so I'm not sure how loud it is. to play. So it's quite nice. It sounds nice, but it wants to be something like this. Wants to have more space, more. It wants to sound huge. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to apply the ordinary DDMF F6144 EQ, which is an incredible EQ, of course. So it's very difficult to get the DMF to sound naff, because it's so good, and you could see how much better that sounded. That really opened it up. Now I'll apply the directional EQ. With the DDMF Directional EQ, I can get it to sound much wider. Now, if I now apply both, this is going to sound really cool. I can now apply both because I'll have my basic EQing going on, which is cool, and then I'll also have the widening going on. And because the DDMF stuff is quite subtle, you know, it's very difficult to make this sound crap. And then you can just make some nice adjustments. I mean, of course, you can overload it and overdrive it, but, you know, this, for what we want to do here, is not what I want to do. So I'm going to apply both to the mix. I shall just, I don't know. It was fine there. I'll go there. So I'll go to the mix again. We'll go to this. I will switch both of them off, and then I will apply both. Makes the mix come alive, and that is the beauty of these EQs. they make the mix, both of them. They're both superb, but the directional one is so clever. The fact that you can point your frequency at any part like of the spectrum you like is so ridiculously cool. And you can open stuff out. And of course, with it being a parametric EQ, you can choose let me just quickly show you what I mean. With it being parametric, you can choose here this one, this center one here. You can choose the frequency that you're affecting. You don't have to have this down here. It's 72 hertz or 73 hertz. You could bang it all the way up there and do it like this. So you can it's just cool beans. It's cool beans. And then you can choose, obviously, where you want your frequency range to be. But play with these two, because these two together, they make the magic happen, you know, because you're increasing just, it's like, you know, it's really hard to say without using panning and stuff like that. It's easy to make it sound much wider, as you just did. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. That was the DDMF Directional EQ with a bit of a comparison with the 6144, which is just your straightforward EQ. And when I say straightforward, it is a beautiful thing. But like all the DDMF apps, the compressor, the limiter, the reverb, they're all very, 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 very good. Thank you for watching, and please like the video, subscribe to the channel, consider becoming a patron and support the Sound Test Room. That is very cool. And okay, yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later. Awesome.